Hey guys, it's Wednesday now. I just posted my third vlog. This is my fourth one. I have a lesson at 1. It's 11:14 right now, so I have a little bit of time. But I'm gonna go on that, see how I do and how far along I am towards scheduling the check ride. We're supposed to schedule it today, but it depends on the DPE, the examiner, and when she is available. Tomorrow I'm gonna go get my GoPro and go out again like I did tonight and do my solo maneuver flights so that you guys can see how I do them. My GoPro's there charging, so it'll be ready for tomorrow. Okay, I'm at the airport now. I'm going to go fly my plane because I wasn't able to yesterday because I got caught up in too much stuff. So now I'm going to go pre-flight, fuel up, and take you guys with me on my flight. I never try to talk over other airplanes. I'm a student pilot and I'm not allowed to go over 5-knot crosswind, and it's 8 knots right now, which is okay, but the problem is that sock over there is kind of turning towards a crosswind. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna fuel the plane up, and if it's better by the time I'm done, then I will take off, go for a short flight, and then come back. I decided it was smooth enough to practice my maneuvers, so I headed out towards the practice area. The first maneuver I practiced was slow flight. The name is pretty self-explanatory. You just fly the airplane at the slowest airspeed you can without letting it stall. In my Cessna 150, I do this by turning carby on, bringing my RPMs back to 1500, and taking out my flaps to 30 degrees. It's supposed to resemble flight in the traffic pattern when you're coming in for a landing. If I lose altitude, I'll add power. If I lose airspeed, I'll push the nose down a little, and vice versa. Here I had to add more power in order to keep my altitude. After maintaining my altitude and airspeed, I went into my 90-degree turns. With slow flight, you keep your turns real shallow to avoid increasing the stall speed, which could result in a spin if you're uncoordinated. As a result, turns in slow flight take the longest to complete. If you look really closely here, you can see that I'm making a very shallow turn to the right. Next, I went into the power off stall since I was already in slow flight. For this maneuver, I leave out my 30 degrees of flaps and my carby on. When my airspeed is at 40 miles an hour, that's specific to my plane, I'll take the throttle back to idle, let the nose drop, then pull back until the air is no longer flowing over my wings. This is also known as hitting my critical angle of attack. After I brake, I let the nose come down to gain airspeed, push the carb heat in and go full throttle, then pitch up for a positive rate of climb. Then I decrease my flaps in increments to avoid too much loss of lift, which would result in another stall. Next, I go into my steep turns. These are performed at higher airspeeds to counteract the effects of a higher stall speed and to take control of the overbanking tendencies of the airplane. The steeper you bank, the more nose-up pressure you'll have to use to compensate for the loss of lift. If you lose airspeed, you have to add more power. These are pretty fun once you get the hang of them. For the FAA check ride, you want to aim for no less than 45-degree angle of bank, but no more than 60 degrees. Also, you really get a good view of this one whenever I make my turn in the other direction, because you can see my plane in relation to the land below. After that first round, I decided to do a second set of steep turns just to get my practice in. Then I went into my power on stall. This is different from the power off stall because it simulates a takeoff where your power is all the way in. First, I entered slow flight with no flaps until I reached my target speed of 64 miles an hour, which is specific to my particular plane. Then I turn off the carpet to apply full throttle before pitching up until the plane stalls. Once the stall breaks, you push the nose over to gain airspeed. Something I forgot to mention that's also applicable to the first stall is also applying right rudder to assist in the coordination of the recovery. After this, I went straight into my second stall. Once I finished practicing my maneuvers, I headed back to the airport and did a nice landing on the 1,000-footers. This is also check ride practice, and if I hadn't done it the first time, I would have gone around to do it again.